Aaron, this week as your co-host, I was thinking that
Mike,
we could...
listen. I don't want to be a dick here. I really appreciate the enthusiasm.
Feel a bud coming on.
But...
there it is.
There is no co-host, okay? None.
Because Zach's not here.
No, look, Zach was never a co-host.
Do you miss him?
Yes, I mean, no, I don't know.
Hey, Aaron, I'm home.
Zach?
Who else? Oh, hey, Mike.
What's going on, buddy? I thought you were going to be a big Hollywood star.
I was originally cast to do a dog barking sound. Turns out they just got a dog.
So you decided to come back to us with your dad.
Yeah, I see what you did there. You're a genius, Mike. How can I have my old role as co-host back?
I knew that he was a...
Okay. So, Zach, there is no position of co-host.
Right. No co-host. Wink, wink.
No. Look, I don't have a co-host to this show. Maybe I really should. This keeps getting brought up.
Shotgun!
Okay, how about this? How about I think about it, and I consider who to make my co-host. Maybe we have our viewers take a vote. But let me just have some time to consider this. Let's just do the show for now. Okay. Call of Duty World War II finally gives us their release date. The Trump administration is giving us a few insights as to how they're going to shred apart net neutrality. And Sonic the Hedgehog may be running onto the scene with a few little surprises. You're watching RAMtv. Well, it's nearly May, so it's time for us to talk about November. And any good gamer that likes the same repetitive game over and over knows what November means. The release of another Call of Duty! This time, though, the franchise is reeling back from their space odysseys. Way back to World War II. Activision's game's release date is November 3rd, and it was announced alongside the world reveal trailer.
This day have set upon a mighty endeavor. Souls will be shaken with the violences of war. In this hour of great sacrifice, we shall prevail.
As you can see, the game takes place during World War II and follows the U.S. 1st Infantry Division, Big Red 1, represent! As they fight their way through the European theater of war. Not Europe's theaters, though maybe we could bounce into a history fact for a moment. History fact. During World War II, while many U.S. troops were deployed to the European theater, many others were deployed to places like the UK in order to help play a little defense. You have to keep in mind that at this point in time, the Brits had been fighting for almost 2 years. So, along come the Yanks. And the theaters in London played a major role in giving citizens and soldiers a break from, stress, the gloom and doom of war and being bombed. Well, at one point, the U.S. Army and the Red Cross joined forces and performed the show Our Town at the Playhouse Theatre in London's West End. Yes, U.S. soldiers soldiering during the day and tap dancing at night. Now, that is the closest the U.S. got into fighting through the European theater. Let's now return to the news. So, the game follows Big Red 1 through battles such as the D-Day invasion of Normandy and Battle of the Bulge. The single-player story primarily focuses on Private Daniels, though at one point there is a mission where you play as a French woman in the French Resistance. We know COD is doing something different with the game. Thank God. That's been one really annoying problem with the COD games. Anyways, we will see these different things show up in multiplayer. First is their social space. Think of it like the tower in Destiny. COD calls it headquarters. It's supposed to be a place to socialize and also has features of recognition and awards, although it's not really clear what that means. Anyways, multiplayer will also add a new game mode called War Mode, which is objective-focused gameplay, where it separates you into allies and Axis teams in iconic World War II battles, very similar to what Battlefield 1 did. As for co-op, it's introducing a new original story featuring zombies, just like the Nazis had. The trailer does confirm that there will be a beta for pre-ordering ahead of time, but no date has actually been released on that beta. Other tidbits of info confirmed by Activision include Josh Dimmel as a cast member, and a GameStop exclusive Pro Edition that will cost you 100 big ones. Now, if you're like me, the only time you touch COD is because your girlfriend wants to play multiplayer and whoop some ass. Which means the stuff you care about, the multiplayer stuff, they haven't given us much on. Well, good news. There's supposed to be a full multiplayer release during E3. Be sure to leave your comments below. Let me know. Are you excited for another Call of Duty game, or are you kind of over it? Also, what are your thoughts on COD going back to World War II? Okay, holy crap. That was a lot of information, and if your mind is not overloaded enough, let's go to Ray. So, he can get you good and pissed off as our politicians try to undo the one thing that keeps our already overpriced internet providers from costing us so much more for the so little they provide. Ray?
Well, Ajit Pai did indeed make his intentions clear this week, so he does want to get rid of Title II regulation against the ISPs, effectively ending the net neutrality as we know it, and I'm getting tired of this fight because net neutrality is something that we won back in 2015. It was a victory for consumers in general, and now with this new Republican-controlled FCC, they want to screw us over, honestly. Now, what is net neutrality? Just to sum it up, basically all of the data is treated the same. So it's not Netflix data, it's not Spotify data, it is just data, and we pay however much we want for internet speed, for if you have a mobile carrier, so AT&T, Verizon, how much data you want per month, and that's fine. And you can use your data however you want. But without net neutrality, then you have these programs like Music Freedom from T-Mobile. Now, for example, Spotify is a part of Music Freedom at T-Mobile. So that means any data that Spotify uses does not count against your data for that month. Which, as a consumer, it sounds great. However, then we look into competition. Now, a very famous example that I could bring up is Verizon versus Netflix. So a lot of Netflix subscribers that had Verizon as their ISP complained about the speed that Netflix was going. Now, Netflix and Verizon were trying to talk, and Verizon pretty much said that if you want your data to be prioritized, or if you want better access to our pipelines, then you should pay us, so that way we could give you more access to the pipelines, even though the data is the same as the data from Vudu or Vimeo or YouTube, but I digress. And Netflix bit the bullet, and they did start paying Verizon, so that way their subscribers don't have to deal with slow speeds on Verizon. And when they did pay, the speeds and the quality that Netflix subscribers with Verizon saw was actually increased, and it was actually good. However, an ISP should not charge a company, especially a company that pretty much they don't control the pipelines. And yes, that is something that this new Republican FCC does have, that these tech companies like Netflix, like Apple, like Microsoft, they do not own the pipelines. However, the internet is for all and is not a toll road. Do you want to pay tolls to get better access to certain websites? I don't. I want to pay a set price for the data I want to use, and I use the data however I want with whatever services I want. That is the internet that we have been living with forever. And now they want to get rid of that, and that's scary to me. Now, I don't know about you, if you like this new Republican-controlled FCC, because this is what the Republicans have been trying to do. Now, I do not mean to be political or speak on behalf of Matt, of Zach, of Aaron, of Kevin. I don't mean to represent us as a whole. I am myself, and I do not agree with this new FCC. I agree with the Tom Wheeler FCC, which they introduced net neutrality and they enforced it and passed it, and it is the law of the land that Title II regulation will be put on ISPs. Without Title II and with them going back to Title I, again, they will self-monitor themselves and make sure that they are pro-competition, that they don't censor, that they don't throttle for against their competitors, and it's just really scary. I'm sorry. I thought that this fight was over. I thought that we had secured the internet, the future of the internet back in 2015, but no, with Ajit Pai at the helm of the FCC, we are going to be in for a long fight. Now, the full text of Ajit Pai's pretty much wanting to get rid of Title II regulation will be released today. I'm filming this on a Thursday, the Saturday before RAMtv comes out, and the full text has not come out yet. However, we have known about his intentions for a few months now, and it will come to the meeting that the FCC will hold on May 18th, and after that, public comments will be able to be submitted for a couple of months, and then they will finally see and act on if they will actually implement these new rules. Now, I'm going to give Aaron all the information on how to contact Ajit Pai and the FCC, so you can voice your concern and file a complaint and make sure that net neutrality is the same as we have it right now, and that the internet will have a safe future. I'm sorry again for this topic. I know I've talked about net neutrality so many times, but I'm ready to fight. Are you? I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Thanks, Ray. For anyone who wants to get involved and let our country's leaders know what bullshit this is, there will be public comments opening after May 18th. However, no specific dates have been given. Surprise, surprise. Coming up, the world's fastest blue hedgehog is slowing down to ensure everything is perfect for his entrance back onto the scene. You're watching RAMtv. Welcome back to RAMtv. God, I hope those ads play or this transition makes like absolutely no sense. Anyways, Zach, you're back now and literally just came home, so I have no clue what you're talking about. Yes, I make them turn out product that quickly. So why don't you just go ahead and blow us away?
You may recall a few months ago that PETA was up in arms about Warhammer miniatures depicting fur trappings on their soldiers. In a move of, shall we say, preventative measures against animal activism backlash, the Western release of Tekken 7 will come minus a character, the boxing kangaroo Roger Jr., who has been a character since Tekken 5, being a replacement for the boxing raptor Alex. In a statement to VG 24/7 at a press event, executive producer Katsuhiro Harada explained, "There was a video of a man's dog being headlocked by a kangaroo, and he punched it in the face. It turned into a big problem. People were complaining about him punching a kangaroo. It seems that in the last few years there's a lot more animal activists. Even though they probably wouldn't play our game, they would still hear about that, about a kangaroo in our game being punched, and would complain about it. Now, let's get one thing straight, that was a really solid right hook. Secondly, this won't stop Bandai Namco from including the bear Kuma, who, as Harada puts it, is obviously stronger than a human. I don't condone animal cruelty, but as far as I see it, the dude was saving his dog, and a kangaroo getting socked in the kisser is hysterical. That hardly constitutes activist backlash by having a boxing kangaroo in a game. Still, it's not my decision, and Tekken 7 will release on June 2nd, with 38 playable characters, minus, of course, Roger Jr.
Thanks, Zach. Now, it's time to roll around at the speed of sound. Ugh, sorry. Look, I didn't write this. As we dive into the world of Sonic the Hedgehog, Mike Cook has been doing his best to keep up with the Speedy Blue Hedgehog's latest adventure, and he's got some pretty awesome news. Mike, I understand there is another delay to the release, so what the hedgehog is going on? Seriously, guys, what the hedgehog?
Well, Aaron, let me tell you, honestly, any kind of delay is going to piss fans off. But this particular delay is actually for a very exciting reason, if all goes well. It's been leaked and rumored just this past week that Sonic Mania, the classically styled 25th anniversary game, will be featuring hand-drawn animated cutscenes. Now, this is actually really, really huge, and here's a few confirmation. Basically, Max Collins, a former animator at Cartoon Network, revealed this clip on his Tumblr page. It also was featured on the Sonic Twitter page that Aaron Weber has actually posted animation cells from the intro from 1993's Sonic CD to be used as, quote, reference guides to the game. Now, obviously, this is a huge deal. Nothing has been confirmed by either Sega or from the game's developer, Christian Whitehead, or Headcanon Studios. However, if the rumors are true, then this will be absolutely phenomenal and definitely worth the wait. We also now finally have a release date. Supposedly, it is supposed to be coming out September 14th of this year. So, yeah, you may have to wait till the end of the summer, but it will certainly go out with a Sonic boom. And the good kind, not the crappy Sonic spin-off.
But what do you think about the little speedball and his team slowing down before finally spinning back into action?
You know, it's really cool for me, and it's definitely well-deserved. It seems as though the Sonic team is really taking their time. The delay this is something that they've never done before, as I mentioned a few weeks ago. They would have normally rushed the game out to make it for the 23rd of June, which is technically the official anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Note, 21 days after my birthday, just saying we're both Geminis, which is awesome. But for me personally, as an animation buff and someone who has studied animation, and with Sonic being my main inspiration to get into animation, this is really cool. And the fact that they're actually doing hand-drawn animated cutscenes, this is like the first time in 25 years that they'll be doing this. So this is pretty exciting. Well, not quite 25, maybe like 23, 22. But still, it's a big, big deal. So September 14th is the day you gotta wait, and if the rumors are true and we do have hand-drawn animated cutscenes, it's gonna be amazing. Just gonna bring the game that much higher and being a true tribute to Sonic fans, and definitely the game that we don't only deserve, but we should expect from future entries in the franchise.
Thanks, Mike. And I see you have quite the collection of memorabilia.
Thank you. Can you tell I'm a fan?
Yeah, sure can. It's like looking into the room of a 5-year-old. It is a good thing I do not have a whole bunch of geeky shit all over my place.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry, guys. I mean, this one's signed by David Tennant, right? Okay, well, if you like what you saw, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Be sure to leave comments below and let us know your thoughts on the topics we discussed, and, of course, let us know what you want to hear about. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every time we have something new go up for you guys. And, of course, we appreciate all the support and love that we get from you guys, and we are asking for your help to go one step further. Visit our GoFundMe and our Patreon pages to financially help with the show so that we can upgrade the quality and, of course, afford to do more things like this during the week. We love doing this, and we love all of you, and we certainly could not do this without you guys. Join us every day for a Tiny Ram, and, of course, we'll see you next week for the next episode of RAMtv. Do you Ram?